Good morning, friends. Welcome to this session. So, in today's session, we will study about the fluids for hydraulic system. So, what are the fluids we will be using for the hydraulic system? Okay, if you see the objectives, we have to study the various functions of the hydraulic fluid. Then we have to study about the desirable properties of the fluid. Then differentiate between thick and boundary lubrication. Okay, so we know that lubrication is important parameter for the fluids. Then define neutralization number and deemulsibility. Then define fire point, flash point. Okay, explain the various hydraulic fluids, different types of fluid we will study. Then explain the various fire resistant fluids. Okay, if we see the functions of the hydraulic fluids, so main function is that about the power transmission. Okay, so power transmission in how? So to transmit the power, so which is the primary function. Okay, so normally we can use this hydraulic fluid to transmit the power, Then second main function is about the lubrication. Lubrication in the sense like it will lubricate the various parts so as to avoid metal to metal contact and reduce the friction, wear and heat generation. Okay, so you can see that lubrication, how much it is important. Okay, because if we provide lubrication, then there will be the reduction in the friction, then wear will not occur, and also we can reduce the heat generation. Then third important function is about the sealing. Okay, sealing means what? To seal the moving elements to avoid leakages. Okay, so hydraulic fluid, it should act as a sealing, like when it will be traveling from one place to another place in the hydraulic system. Okay, so there should not be any leakage. Okay, so that leakage, if to avoid that leakage, so hydraulic fluid, it has to act as a seal. Then fourth function is about the cooling. So cooling, how we can do the cooling of the hydraulic system? Okay, so cooling can be done by carrying away the heat generated in the system and to dissipate the heat through a reservoir or a heat exchanger. Okay, so in hydraulic system we can use this heat exchanger. Okay, or else what what will be happening? So when the work is done, so fluid, that liquid, it will be coming to the reservoir. Okay, from the reservoir again the fresh oil will go to the system. So in this way, what this our fluid, hydraulic fluid, it should have the cooling capability also. And last one, that is about the contamination removal. So hydraulic fluid, it should also remove the contaminants. So what happens to carry along the contaminations to the tank where they can be removed through the filter? So what are the contaminants, like in the direction control wall, like in the pressure control wall, or in the actuators? Okay, or in the flow distribution system, whatever the contaminants are there, debris are there, so that has to be collected by the uh, fluid, and it has to be passed through the reservoir. So in the reservoir we will be having the filters, so using that filter we can remove the contaminants. Okay, so what are the various properties of for an ideal hydraulic fluid? So already I have studied about the different fluid properties like density, viscosity, surface tension, capillarity. Okay, all these things you have studied. But when we are using this hydraulic fluid in a system, so then what properties we require? So that we will see. So it should have the ideal viscosity, good lubrication capability, then demulsibility. It should have good chemical and environmental stability. Then it should have the good neutralization number, then incompressibility, fire resistance, low flammability, foam resistance, low volatility, good heat dissipation, and low density. So we will discuss in very briefly about these properties. So first is about the ideal viscosity. Okay, so the most basic desirable property of a hydraulic fluid is the optimum viscosity. Optimum viscosity in the sense that it should have the we should have the ideal viscosity, that is the viscosity. It should not be high or it should not be low. It should be in the ideal state. Okay, so it is a measure, viscosity, it is a measure of a fluid's resistance to the flow. Then when viscosity is low, if I say when viscosity is the low, the fluid flows easily, and on the other hand, when the viscosity is high, the fluid flows with the difficulty. So high viscous fluid will flow with difficulty and low viscous fluid will flow very easily. So low viscous fluid is thin and can flow easily, and high viscous fluid is the thick and cannot flow easily. So you can see that some of the, we should select such type of fluid so that it should, whatever the fluid is there, it should easily travel in the system. Okay, so what is the condition for the low viscosity? If there is low viscosity, what will happen? It will cause the increase in the internal leakage. Okay, because the oil will be smoothly flowing, that means leakages chances will be more. Then excessive water is required. Then possibility of the decreased pump efficiency. Okay, and it due to this, what will happen? There will be the slower operation of the actuator. Then there will be the increased temperature resulting in the leakage losses. And if we are having the high viscosity, then there will be the high resistance to flow, because high viscous fluid, it will not travel that much easily. Okay, so that means high resistance will be there. Then power consumption will increase due to frictional loss. High temperature is caused by friction. Okay, that is, high viscous means what? The friction will be more. Then there will be the increased pressure drop. Then there may be the possibility of sluggish or slow operation. Then there will be the difficulty in separating air from oil in a reservoir. Then the greater vacuum will be at the pump inlet, causing cavitation. Okay, and since the high viscous fluid, we will get the higher system noise level. Okay, so this is ISO VG. VG means what? It is the viscosity grade. Okay, so this is the viscosity grade for engine oils. So based on the viscosity grade and kinematic viscosity, we can select the different type of the engine oils. Like you can see here, this is the ISO VG2. Okay, that is viscosity grade 2. So for this kinematic viscosity, it is minimum is 1.98 and maximum is 2.482. So this is for 40 degree Celsius. So in this way, we can select different according to your requirement, according to our applications. We can go for different types of oils, that is ISO VG15, ISO VG100. So if whatever, depending upon your viscosity. Okay, so these were the old designation, and now it is the new designation. So old designation, we were saying it as servo system 311, and now we can say new designation servo system 32. So same way, old designation, they are changing to the new designation. Okay, so then comes the lubrication capability. Okay, lubrication capability means what? So hydraulic fluids, they must have the good lubrication to prevent friction and wear between the closely fitted working parts, such as vanes of pumps, wall spools, then piston rings and the bearings. Okay, so like we know that pumps are there. So pump, we will be having the blades. So vanes, we can call it as the vanes are nothing but the blades. Okay, blades of the pump. So vanes of the pump and wall spools. So wall spool, it will be inside the control walls. Okay, so wherever there is the close contact is there, so there we should have the good lubrication. Otherwise, what will happen? There may be the chances of the leakages. Okay, again here there are two types of lubrication, that is thick lubrication and thin lubrication. So our condition is that we should get the good lubrication capability. So thick में क्या होगा? Thick film lubrication. In the diagram you can see that is high speed, high load. Okay, and this is the lubrication film. So lubrication film, it is thick. Okay, so since lubricating is thick enough to provide total surface operations, therefore contact between asperities do not occur. Okay, so thick film lubrication means what? Again, there will be the यहाँ पे क्या है, resistance will be more, that is friction will be more. Then boundary film lubrication. Okay, so boundary film lubrication, we can say force is equal to what? Force is equal to mu into n. So mu is what? It is the lubrication coefficient. So here you can see force is directly proportional to this frictional force. Okay, so again, when boundary lubrication, what will happen? You can see here, this is the lubrication film. Okay, so high speed or high load will slide over. Okay, so here what will happen? Lubricating film is too thin to provide total surface separation. Therefore, what will happen? The contact between the asperities will occur. Okay, so again, we need to have the lubrication capability such that thin भी नहीं रहना चाहिए और thick भी नहीं रहना चाहिए. Then third one is about the demulsibility. Okay, so the ability of the hydraulic fluid to separate rapidly from moisture and successfully resist emulsification is known as the demulsibility. Okay, demulsibility matlab kya rahega? That is, there should be the separation between the oil and the water, or oil and the air. Okay, so if an oil emulsifies with the water, then the emulsion promotes the destruction of the lubrication and sealant properties. Okay, so we should have the such type of oil that जब भी हम लोग यूज करेंगे, जब वाटर आएगा तो वाटर एंड ऑयल इट शुड नॉट मिक्स अप. ओके, इट शुड नॉट मिक्स अप. सो अगर ऑयल एंड वाटर मिक्स हो गया तो क्या हो जाएगा? द प्रॉपर्टीज विल बी रिड्यूस, लाइक लुब्रिकेटिंग प्रॉपर्टीज एंड सीलेंट प्रॉपर्टीज. So what we can say, highly refined oils, they are basically water resistant by nature. So we have to use the high refined oils. Okay, so here you can see oil is there and water is there. So यहाँ पे क्या है? Mix नहीं हो रहा है, separate हो रहा है. Okay, so but here what is happening? Oil and water is there. Here you are getting the emulsion. Okay, so our hydraulic fluid, it should not emulsify. We should have the demulsibility. Then hydraulic fluid, it should have the good chemical and environmental stability. Okay, so we know that oxidation, it leads to the deterioration in the chemical nature of the fluid, which may form some chemical sludges, gum, or varnish at the low velocity. Okay, so then temperature is the most affecting one, as the rate of oxidation increases severely with rise in the temperature. So as the temperature rises, so the oxidation will also increase, and the result will be that rusting and corrosion will happen to the metal surfaces of the hydraulic component. Okay, so that is again, if the oxidation increase, again that may cause the chances that the surface will get rust and corrosion will occur. So what we can do? Rust and corrosion, it can be prevented by using the additives to the plate on the metal surface. Okay, so that the chemical reaction is reduced. So what we will be using? We will be using the additives to reduce the oxidation capability. Okay, so our hydraulic fluid, it should have the good chemical and environmental stability. Then neutralization number. So what is neutralization number? Neutralization number is a measure of the acidity or alkalinity of the hydraulic oil. So basically, again, that acidic nature and basic nature you have studied in the in your that is high school and all. Okay, neutralization number means what? It is the measure of the acidity. So this is referred to as the pH value of the oil. Okay, and high acidity causes the oxidation rate in oil to increase rapidly. Okay, so again, this also we have to keep in mind, so that whatever the oil should not be much oxidic. Okay, then sixth property is about the incompressibility. So incompressibility, we know it is a measure of the stiffness and is given by the bulk modulus, that is K is equal to minus nu into delta P by delta V. Okay, so compressibility means what? It is the C, that is equal to 1 by K. K is the bulk modulus in megapascal, then delta P is change in pressure, and delta V by V, that is the change in volume to the original volume. Okay, so most of the mineral oils, they undergo reduction in the volume of about 0.7% for every 100 bar rise in the pressure. Okay, so if we are using the mineral oils, what we can see that if there is the 100 bar rise in pressure, so we may observe the 0.7% reduction in volume. And the compressibility of fluid, it has an influence on the system response and makes it susceptible to shock waves. Okay, so hydraulic oils, what we are using, so we should have such that there should not be the chances of the compressibility. Okay, so the fluid water we are using, it should be incompressible fluid. Then seventh property is the fire resistant. So a fire resisting fluid is that which can be ignited but does not support combustion when the ignition source is removed. Okay, so fire resistant means what? That is, it will not support the combustion. And flammability is what? It is defined as the ease of ignition and ability to propagate the flame. That means ignition will happen very easily, and also the chances of the catching the fire. Okay, so fire resistance means what? Only ignition will happen, but it will not support the combustion. So the characteristics which we are used to test in order to determine the flammability of hydraulic fluids, so they are flash point, then fire point, and the autogeneously ignition temperature. So we know all these three terms. What is flash point? So the temperature at which an oil surface gives off sufficient vapors to ignite when a flame is passed over the surface. Okay, when the flame is passed over the surface, so what will happen? It will ignite. Okay, then fire point means what? The temperature at which the oil releases sufficient vapor to support combustion continuously for 5 seconds when a flame is passed over the surface. Okay, so that is the fire point temperature. Then what is the autogeneously ignition temperature? So the temperature at which ignition will occur spontaneously. Okay, so these three terms are there, which will, from where we can get the fire resistance. Okay, so what are the fire resistant fluids? So fire resistance fluid, that is, first one is the HFA. That is HFA means what? That is high water content fluid. Okay, high water content fluid. That we can also call it as HWCF. So here what we will be having the 80% water. That is, if we have the water oil emulsions, so there 80% water will be there and 20% oil will be there. Then HFB, so it is the water oil emulsion containing petroleum oil and the water. So HFB, we will have the petroleum oil and water. Then what is HFC? It is the solution of water and glycol. Water and glycol का solution है, so that we will call as the HFC. And HFD, it is the synthetic fluid. Like examples are phosphates or phosphate petroleum blends. Okay, so if we see the commonly used hydraulic liquids are petroleum derivatives, and they burn vigorously once they reach a fire point. And for critical applications, artificial or synthetic hydraulic fluids are used that have the fire resistance. So why this fire resistance is important? Because you know that hydraulic system, it is a closed loop system, and continuously the oil will be working, okay, from reservoir to the pump to the actuator. Okay, so in this way, what will happen? There may be the chances of increase in the temperature of that fluid, and if there is increase in the temperature, so that we should have the property such that the oil should not cause the fire. So that's why this fire resistant property is important. Then again, we should have the low in flammability. Flammability, we know that is it catches fire. So again, we should have the low flammability of the hydraulic fluid. A fire resistant fluid is that which can get ignited in the presence of an ignition source, but it does not support the combustion. Okay. So what is required is that it is desirable to have a low flammability for a hydraulic fluid. Then ninth one is about the foam resistance. Okay, so what we can observe that air can be present in a hydraulic fluid, that is in two forms, that is dissolved and entrained air. Okay, so these are the two types of air which are present in the hydraulic fluid. For example, if the return line to the reservoir is not submerged, the jet of the oil entering the liquid surface will carry air with it. Okay, so this will cause air bubbles to form in the oil, and if these bubbles rise to the surface too slowly, they will draw into the pump intake, and this can cause pump damage due to the cavitation. Okay, so again, the hydraulic fluid is there, it should have the foam resistant capability. Foam resistance capability मतलब क्या है? That is जाग जो है हम लोग बोलते हैं हिंदी में जाग. So it should not occur in the hydraulic fluid. So वो normally कैसा होगा? When in the return line, when the water will be falling, sorry, water, not water, that is the oil. When the oil will be returning to the tank, so in the form of the jet, so it will be coming to the reservoir. So that time when it comes, so there may be the chances of the foam or the air trapping. So that should not happen to the hydraulic fluid. Then low volatility. So a fluid, it should possess the low vapor pressure or high boiling point. Okay, that is either we should have the low vapor pressure or the high boiling point. The vapor pressure of the fluid, it varies with the temperature, and hence the operating temperature range of the system is important in determining the stability of the fluid. Okay, so we should have the vast temperature range of the hydraulic fluid. Then the hydraulic fluid, it should also have the good heat dissipation. So a hydraulic fluid, it should have a high heat dissipation capability. And if the fluid overheats, it may cause the following problems, that is, it give off the vapor and cause cavitation of the pump. It may increase the rate of the oxidation, so which will cause rapid deterioration by producing sludges, varnishes, etc. Then it may, or if the fluid overheats, then there will be reduction in viscosity of the fluid, resulting in leakage, increased leakage, that is both internal and external. And it may also cause the thermal distortion in the components. Okay, that is excess heat. Then excess heat, that may also cause the damage. It may cause the damage to the seals and packing, which will owing to the embrittlement. मतलब packing जो है seal मतलब खुल जाएगा, packing भी it will remove. Okay, so that means again the system will not work properly. So we should have the good heat dissipation capability, that is generally the high heat dissipation capability. Then normally if we come to the density, we should have the low density. The relative density of a mineral oil is 0.9, and the exact value, it depends on the base oil and the additive used. So normally mineral oil, we know that will be the combination of the petroleum oil and the additives. So we will be using the additives, much more additives to improve the properties and all. Okay, so synthetic fluids can have a relative density greater than 1. So you can see here that synthetic fluids relative density is more than 1. For mineral oil, it is around 0.9. So the relative density is very much important when designing the layout of the pumps and reservoir. Okay, so with this we finish today's lecture. So till now we have seen about the different properties, so how these properties will affect on the hydraulic fluid. So while selecting the hydraulic fluid, so we have to keep all these properties in the mind. Like once again I will discuss briefly. So all these properties are very much essential, that is ideal viscosity to low density. So whenever you will be designing for the system, so we should consider all these parameters for selecting an hydraulic fluid. Okay, so thank you very much all of you.